I've been thinking about how I've told you this already that when I pee, the stream's not too strong, and I need to figure that out. I don't know if I do need to figure it out, but I get jealous. Like last night at the cellar, I was in the fat black bathroom.
And you heard somebody with a powerful stream?
Yeah, this little Asian dude came up and just
really
peed so hard, and I was like, "What are you trying? Oh, are you flexing on me?"
Wow, Asian on Asian.
Yeah,
it's like a dance off.
Yeah,
which is what you're used to.
Yeah, we usually break dance,
and you're like, "What's this pee stream shit?"
Yeah, he was spinning on his head while he did it.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Now I see why you're jealous. I think there's something that we need to address, which is that we never did a Arsenal episode. We did do a football episode, like when we were kind of getting our sea legs, where we talked about how the European football system works and the Champions League and all that stuff. But we have never come out and let the listeners know that this is a Arsenal fan.
This is an Arsenal podcast.
This is an Arsenal podcast where we talk all things Arsenal. All the time, breaking all the news about Arsenal.
Yeah.
But last week, it's been coming for a while. I think we all kind of saw the canary in the coal mine as far as Arsenal's chances of winning the title. Pretty stellar year, but it just felt like Man City was like the Borg, or like just
they feel like the bad guys. I don't.
They feel like the White Walkers.
I don't know what that is.
Game of Thrones?
I never watched it.
Oh, it's actually part of my culture, so that's kind of rude.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. White Walkers.
Yeah, I listen to
the White Talkers too, which are the stand-up version.
Dude, too bad. You got to get AI to make that. White Walkers doing stand-up. But they just they seemed impenetrable. They were gonna win no matter what. And they're probably gonna win all three.
You think they're going to do champions?
They're going to win the Champions
and FA Cup?
Yeah. All they have to beat is
United and
AC Milan or Inter Milan.
I don't know anything about the other leagues. Is Inter not good?
They're fine. But
what team does Vinny
play for? Real.
So he got into a fight with a goalie and they called him a monkey?
Well, that's pretty common in Europe for there to be especially in Spain and Italy and a few of those other countries.
That makes me feel better.
What?
That
they're also racist?
That they're more racist. We wouldn't be doing that shit.
No. Yeah. They that's a big thing. In a lot of Europe, there's been times where people have thrown bananas on the field.
What did they say to Saka when he missed the goal? Because I heard that he was getting all this racist stuff.
It was all online. It was just gross racist.
You know what I'm doing is a kind of just a bit for myself.
What?
As I've been commenting on celebrities' pictures. But it's only Zinchenko and Saka. Zinchenko posted that he's a sonogram.
Yeah.
Photo, and I said, "Congrats! I'm so happy for
you." Oh, I love that kind of thing where it's just somebody eventually comes down and they're just like, wait, what the fuck? Why is Wilfred writing this?
Yeah, it's my favorite. Saka just renewed his contract.
Yeah.
Same shit.
Well, this is not an episode about Arsenal, but I did think that it should address
something we needed to address.
We need to address that.
It was heavy on our hearts.
It was a hard week, and it's been that thing consistently. One thing that I didn't like is I thought all the press coverage of Arsenal was very fatalistic. Everybody was just well, there's no way they're going to win it. And they definitely could have had there been a few, their depth thinned out. They lost their entire kind of defensive structure when Saliba went.
What the fuck was Arteta thinking last week?
I don't know.
Thomas Partey was just floating around to the right, I don't know what the fuck was going on.
Well,
anyways, this is the known zone.
This is the known zone.
I'm your host, Wilfred Padua.
Whoa! All right, I like this.
Yeah,
and I'm Andy Haynes, the co-host. Second mic.
Yeah, my Glenn.
My Glenn. All right, I like this.
Yeah, Tom Green.
Yeah. That was a deep cut.
I know. That's a reference no one will get. I told you what we're talking about today, right?
Yeah.
Grover Cleveland.
Yep. The Grove Man.
Yeah.
That's what they named the Grove in LA after, right?
Yeah. I don't know what the Grove is in LA.
It's an outdoor mall.
Oh, okay.
Very centrally
I've been
located.
To the Americana.
Yeah. It's the same exact thing, but in a different location.
Yeah. Gavin stole a tie from J. Crew.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Because I think he was going to a wedding with someone that he was dating at the time.
Yeah.
That Grover Cleveland.
Yeah.
What do you know about him?
President.
Uh-huh.
That's it.
Oh, really?
That's all I know.
This is going to be nice. This is going to be...
Actually, you told me last night that he's the only...
non-consecutive.
Two-term president. Yeah.
I guess there's only like 13 or 14 two-term presidents. So like, and most of them are in the like pantheon of presidents, like Washington, Obama. Most of them are also recent, I think, but they're the ones that really like stand out to us. And Grover Cleveland is kind of in the cut. Like he's not a president that people really think about.
No, I mean, if you think about it, I would say that honestly, my two reference points for Cleveland are the shitty city in Ohio. Sorry, Cleveland, you've been good to me, but
which he's actually related to some of the people that founded it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And then Cleveland High School in Seattle, which I
don't understand why. Like, having learned about him, I don't understand why they would have named a high school after him. But same thing with Garfield. Why did they name?
Yeah, I mean, Garfield's like the funniest one because Garfield, like, I was trying to write a joke about this, which is like, what are you setting students up for naming a school after
the guy?
James Garfield was shot at his inauguration for a guy who thought he was going to get like special like treatment placement in his like an ambassadorship or something like that. Shot him in the gut. And then he just died for 6 months. Like they just took the bullet out, wrapped a bandage around him, and they were like, "Hey, buddy, good luck."
Yeah,
that's all they knew of medicine back then.
And then why would you? I still don't get why the biggest high school in Seattle
is named after that guy.
After him, Andrew Garfield, is that his name?
No, that's Spider-Man.
Oh, okay. Is that really?
Yeah.
Oh, I legit thought that was his name. Maybe. Yeah. So Grover Cleveland, he was the 22nd and 24th president.
Hell yeah. Who was 23?
Ben Harrison.
I have no idea about this Harrison
Benjamin
guy.
Harrison. Actually, Washington became a state under Benjamin Harrison. And I'll cover him a little bit because he is a little bit important to the story. He's from Jersey. He was a sheriff in Buffalo, the mayor of Buffalo, then governor of New York prior to being president.
So he's a New Yorker.
Yes. Yeah.
Nice. Do you feel like back in the day, Buffalo kind of had more of a like...
Buffalo was popping off.
Yeah, I feel like it was. I think like before the Rust Belt kind of died and people like transported stuff on like the Great Lakes, like Buffalo was like a place where you could get like a good whore and a good cigar and sit in like a nice oak room.
It's in here.
Great.
He's a big whore cigar guy.
I love a whore cigar guy.
He's a connoisseur of whores.
And cigars.
Father was a pastor. He had like he was the fifth of 9 kids. His dad dies when he's 17.
Okay.
Which means that he has to start working to provide for the family.
Yeah.
Never goes to college. So he's and that becomes like a thing. Here's another thing. Before I get really into the details, I don't know what to believe about Grover Cleveland.
Okay.
And I say this because there seem to be multiple narratives of this guy. He doesn't have a lot of documentation about him. He never kept a journal or anything. All the papers about him before he was president just don't exist. I think he threw them out.
Yeah.
So a lot of this is just lore that people are creating. And a lot of the lore is partisan.
Okay.
Republicans like him, even though he was a Democrat back then, but, there's quite the switch. Democrats kind of sensationalize how bad of the things are that he did.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to feel about him.
But he was a Republican.
He was a Democrat.
But Democrats talk shit about him?
Back then, Democrats were the ones that wanted, this was in the 1880s.
Yeah.
So this was right after slavery.
Okay.
So Dems boy, did they love slavery.
They did.
Yeah. Dems were the South.
Dixiecrats.
Yeah.
Okay. And Republicans were the North?
Yeah.
Wow.
So he was actually the only Democrat president. Lincoln was president, I think, 1861.
Uh-huh.
I'm sure I wrote this down at some point.
Can I get a picture? Oh, there. Jesus Christ.
5'10", 260 pounds.
Yes, dude. A unit.
Yeah, and then he was the only. So him and Woodrow Wilson are the only Democrats ever elected between 1850 and 1930.
Okay.
So
can we go to that second row all the way to the right? Yeah, that one.
Oh, young.
Kind of a hottie.
Became a lawyer. Blah blah blah. He began. I guess the term was reading the law. That's what they use. Back then, you just had to be an intern to be a lawyer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So he was a clerk at a law firm, read the law, and then I don't know what I'm doing this for.
I just like that you could just read the law, and they're like, this guy can read.
Yeah, and then you get passed into the bar.
Wow.
Yeah. So, what did you want to be before you did stand up?
I think I a little bit wanted to be an academic. I always kind of wanted to be a filmmaker.
What would you profess?
I would have done probably Sufist Islam, religious stuff.
What?
Sufist.
What do
it's
they
like
do?
a sect of Islam.
Sufis?
Sufis, yeah.
Are those the whirling dervies?
That's one of them. That's one sect of Islam is the whirling dervishes.
Why do they do that?
It's like a meditative thing.
To spin?
Yeah. They're meditating while they do
okay.
it. They're like in a trance.
Just imagining all the kids that put their head on the bat.
Yeah, exactly.
They go in circles.
Yeah.
And then barf on their way to first base.
They never show you that part of the dance.
That's Islam.
That's how you get converted. Ooh, nice big pudding bite. Good?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Rice pudding fucking goes, dude.
I was just talking with someone about how they hate the texture of rice pudding. And I was like, I don't trust you.
You're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. I get not liking the texture of normal pudding.
Yeah, I get that.
Like, I like it, but if you didn't like it, I'd go, that makes sense. It's a cold goo, you know?
Yeah. It's also normal pudding has like a plasticky film to it.
Yeah, but fucking rice pudding?
Yeah.
It's like, God.
Okay. Here's the second question.
Okay.
You got to quit stand up at some point. You're going to be a father. This thing isn't real. What do you want to be now?
I mean, can I pick anything?
Yeah.
Either I want like a small business that does like something kind of green.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say something awful like that.
I outfit homes with something that is like I kind of get to like set my own schedule and I get a little workshop and shit like that. I have a little warehouse actually. It's like that kind of business. It's
a warehouse.
Yeah.
Like in a cabin where you do like
no,
woodwork?
Like a small warehouse. But realistically, like the dream would kind of be to work at a creative agency and just get to like make funny content, commercial text.
Sure, yeah.
And then you kind of, you're not putting on a suit.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think the other one would be like a bounty hunter for pets.
Oh, yeah.
Not for lost pets.
No, yeah.
For convict pets.
Yeah, I know.
Like if your dog ate all the cookies and then went on the lam.
Yeah.
You know how every once in a while
you would be actually named Dog the Bounty Hunter.
The dog
bounty hunter.
Yeah, exactly. And you know how like there's always those cows. They'll be like, this cow's been at large for 3 weeks or something like that. I want to be so good at it that they call me in.
I just watched a video of this guy who found a hippo and raised it.
Holy shit.
And then like one day, when it's an adult, he's like petting the hippo.
Yeah.
And then it fucking pulls him into the river and eats him.
His own pet?
Yeah, his own hippo.
Killed him.
So that would be where you come in.
Jesus Christ.
You come in with a whip.
Did you know that hippos are the number one killer of man?
Yeah.
Did we talk about this already?
No, I also am on Instagram.
It's like on. I didn't know that from Instagram. I knew it from this article I read about a guy that was doing a first descent of the Congo River, and they were just talking about how dangerous it is. But the hippos, nobody knows this because they're vegetarian animals, but they're very territorial, and it just happens to be that where hippos reside, humans have to cross that area, and so it's very common for them to interact, and they're not eating them.
They're like gangsters.
Them. Yeah.
Like all the graffiti in my neighborhood is hippo graffiti.
Yeah. If you went underwater, you would see a lot of hippo graffiti.
Yeah. What did Grover Cleveland do next? Oh, here's one. So Grover Cleveland passes the Conscription Act. You know what that is?
No.
It's during the Civil War, Conscription Act is where you have to every able-bodied man from I think 19 to 34 needs to serve, or you can buy someone or pay someone to serve in your place. So Grover Cleveland, looking like that fat idiot that he is, paid for a Polish guy to serve for him, $150, which equates to like...
There's got to be a Polish joke in there. Just like the old school Polish jokes they did.
What were like what? Is it like a Polish guy walks into a bar?
Kind of, it's all just about how Polish guys are dumb. It used to be like the most racist you could be that was highly acceptable.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was like Irish people and Polish people. You never heard like a Polak joke?
I'm sure I have.
There's like a guy, went fishing, but his boat had a screen door.
Okay.
It's some weird, I can't even put them together because it's so old fashioned, but it's basically like your mama jokes, but you're dumb.
I just heard this one. There's a Jewish father and son, right? And the son says, "Dad, can I borrow $50?" And the father says, $50? What do you need $40 for?
That's fun. I like that.
He pays for this dude to fight for him in the Civil War because he's practicing law, becomes a sheriff of and all that stuff. He's a very honest guy. That's actually what the narrative is around him. He's very honest, very upfront with
very upfront about loving the hose, loving the cigars,
and he doesn't.
So there's actually kind of a tangent here with Huey.
Yeah,
because he's kind of like
Huey was corrupt,
but in an honest way.
Huey was corrupt and didn't care.
Yeah.
What I want to believe about, so I'm deciding to believe the positive things about Grover Cleveland, just because I like.
You're a patriot.
It means more to me that this guy was like someone that I can believe in terms of a politician.
Yeah.
I feel so cynical right now in terms of politics.
Yeah.
So I need a Grover Cleveland.
Okay.
There was the street, like one of the examples about like what kind of a character he has is that there's a street cleaning bill in Buffalo, and the city ended up going with the highest bid, which was like over $400,000 to like paying for this company. Mm-hmm. When there was a lower bid for like $100,000 less, and he like vetoed that because he saw the corruption in it, like they were clearly glad-handing.
Yeah.
So he was like that type of guy. He really didn't want to spend $1 more than what was necessary for the government to use.
So he believed in saving money,
lowering taxes.
And this is when he's a governor or a mayor?
Governor, and same thing with presidency.
Okay.
He ran for president in 1884, running against Speaker of the House at the time, James G. Blaine. All this food I'm eating is starting to create a little bubble.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I've been getting indigestion a lot lately, and my farts are going off.
Yeah, I took a colon cleanser, the colon broom.
Yeah.
Psyllium husk.
Oh, yeah.
And those farts are so bad because it's like cleaning out. It's cleaning you out. So it's like it's getting some scents in there that are like real unnatural.
Are you doing that for what, like dieting stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Trying to clean my colon out.
Isn't that what like teenage girls do?
And gays.
That's like a part of anorexia, isn't it?
Not like this. I mean, I think they do it more violently. I just take psyllium husk.
I think they take like laxatives.
Yeah, I'm not taking laxatives. I'm taking like literally like just fiber.
Why do gays do this?
So that their assholes are clean for sex.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I told you this. No one's ever seen my asshole.
Yeah, and I think I'm in a similar boat. Like I actually should probably go and stand in front of a mirror and put my head between my legs so I can see my asshole for the first time. Don't you think?
Yeah.
It's like I deserve to see it.
We should set up webcams in each other's toilets.
Sorry, I gotta go. Wilfred's shitting
again. And I have to make sure it's healthy.
Yeah, I gotta make sure his stools are soft yet not too soft.
Yeah. Okay. First juicy piss of information.
First poopy piss of.
Yeah. So in his campaign for presidency, this piece of news comes out that 10 years prior, Cleveland had a sexual relationship with a woman named Maria Halpin. Maria had a son, and Cleveland was paying child support for this kid.
Uh-huh.
So this all comes out 10 days before voting.
Okay.
Also, she was institutionalized. So the positive spin, the negative spin is
and this Halpin is
woman in
Buffalo.
In Buffalo, yeah.
She a hooker?
The negative spin on Cleveland is that she works in a department store, upstanding woman, that she has sex with Grover. Actually, the negative spin on him is that he raped her.
Whoa.
And then bore a child.
Damn. So my man caught a charge.
Yeah.
Shit.
The positive spin of Cleveland was that he had sex with this girl who happened to have sex with all of his buds.
Wait, the pause. Wait, I don't get
the positive spin on him.
So this they tried to like his opponents were like he's a rapist.
Yes,
and then his supporters were like actually he likes to have a good time with a lady that likes to have a good time.
Yeah, and all of his buds were he was the only bachelor, so he became the one. He was the one I was like, all right, I'll do the child support.
Okay.
Also, she was institutionalized for like 5 days, and in terms of Cleveland's story was that she was institutionalized because she was an alcoholic.
Mm-hmm.
The other story was that he forced her go into this asylum
just to get her out of the
picture. And to like discredit her.
I like the old sitcom thing where like you're at a restaurant and you're dating two girls.
Yeah.
Like that kind of thing that they do for movies and sitcoms. It's that exact same thing, but it's you're dating a girl and then another girl's coming to town for the weekend, and so you have your current girlfriend institutionalized. You call the cops and you're like, listen,
you just got to keep her for like 4 days.
She's threatening to kill herself and people. I'm really worried about her.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to her getting taken off and you're just dancing with the new girl. You're just having the time of your life.
Yeah. Yeah, she's probably going to threaten to kill herself until about Monday afternoon.
Yeah.
Also, so she's only in there for 5 days because the doctor is like, nothing's wrong with her. She's fine.
Okay, so it sounds like she was kind of forced in.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Also, her kid is taken away from her.
Mm-hmm.
And
full time.
Like
no more kid.
No more child.
Okay.
Which what a load off her mind.
What a break.
I'm sure she's like, oh, thank God. No, and was ironically adopted by the doctor who said that she was sane.
Okay.
I don't know how to
that means maybe that he wanted to keep their relationship together. So like maybe he was like, I'll take the kid and then y'all still have access to him.
Maybe.
I don't know. What if this was our hell, but not in a negative sense, just in a purgatory kind of sense? Like this is where we end up, just in this box and we can never leave that door.
Okay.
How do you feel about that?
It's fine, I guess.
How do you feel? It's just me and you.
Are they going to give us food? Or do we just not feel hunger?
I don't think we feel hunger. I don't think we feel...
If we're in this... Okay, let's say we're in this
We don't
room,
have to pee or poop. I'll give you that.
But we do have a corner that we have to jack off into.
Yeah. I think also if you like kind of turn your back, things disappear. And also like the water always refills.
So this is like a magic.
It's hell. What do you mean? Of course it's magic. What do you No, it's real. Sorry, it's the real purgatory.
This doesn't sound that bad. It's like there's water, there's food when you need it.
No, there's no food.
When you jack off, the cum disappears.
But you still have to jack off with me being like here.
Whatever. You're looking at your phone half the
time. So you're fine with it?
Yeah.
I actually think I think I could.
Half the time I'm talking to you, you're looking at your phone. So it's like, if I jerked off in front of you, you'd be like, you wouldn't even notice.
You're not wrong.
You'd be scrolling through Instagram while I do it.
I think I could live in any carpeted room.
I love
carpeted upstate, rooms.
That house that we stayed in with the lush carpet.
Oh my god! That weekend, I was like, we should buy this house as all of us and all.
I was actually thinking, I want to go upstate. When this starts raking in some money, I'm gonna get a house for my 40th.
Yeah, and
then we're gonna play capture the flag.
Yes, I like this.
But we're gonna have to get bigger numbers though,
and we'll kill people.
Yes. Yeah.
It will be real violence capture the flag.
Yeah, you have to skin their heads.
So, Grover Cleveland.
Okay, so
what years are we in now?
Right now, I actually jumped into the past.
Okay.
For 1974 while he's doing this Maria Halpin. 1874. Okay. While he's banging Maria Halpin. So, he's got a kid.
Is he married?
Not married. Actually, one of only 3 presidents to be single going into their presidency.
Wow.
Yeah, I forget. He got married in the White House. Only president to get married in the White House.
Grove?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to say Andrew
Jackson?
Garfield? No, I don't.
Andrew Garfield?
No, there's another one got married while president, and then another one, maybe James Buchanan, never got married.
Okay.
And obviously we think he's gay.
Yeah.
So the news came out, and Cleveland actually he told his campaign, above all, we're going to tell the truth. So he admits to paying child support and all this stuff.
So he's admitting this is his kid.
He's admitting that that there's a possibility this is his kid, that he did have a relationship with her, and that there is a kid that he's paying for.
And there weren't condoms back then.
There weren't condoms.
He just had to use a...
When did condoms get made? That's like an important question, Autumn.
Like the 1900s? I think they were very...
No, they had to be way earlier, right?
No. I mean,
didn't they have like sheepskin condoms or something?
Yeah. Oh.
1839. Charles Goodyear.
1855.
Oh my God. Goodyear. Is he the same thing as the tire guy?
Yeah.
Man. Isn't that crazy to make tires and go, I want one of these around my dick.
You know where this fucking rubber would go great. On my nuts.
New Haven. Hey. So apparently his opponent, James Blaine, also has a sex scandal that's out there. So someone offers to sell the story to Grover Cleveland, and Grover Cleveland buys the story, and in front of his campaign team, lights the piece of paper on fire.
Wow. It's funny that you could just, that's what, like that got rid of the story.
Yeah. Yeah. The other guy was like, oh, what happened though? Fuck, I wrote it on that piece of paper.
I don't remember where I'm here.
Yeah, who am I?
Grover Cleveland's just like...
It would be funny if
forward it again.
Grover Cleveland lights the thing on fire, and then he hits the guy with a bat.
Problem solved.
Yeah. Now we can't. That's his honorable way of dealing with it. So Cleveland also had a best friend who helped him when he was a lawyer. His name was Oscar Folsom.
Okay.
Folsom had a number of children, but they all died.
Okay.
Suicide, obviously.
Gross.
Except his daughter, Frances. Grover Cleveland was close to the family. You know, his best buddy, bought Frances a crib and everything. Oscar dies when Frances is 11.
Okay.
And then Grove is in charge of his estate. So he like pretty much like is taking care of the family, you know, making all the decisions on his behalf. That was a jump to the past. We're back to 1884. Starts the presidency. He wins. Enters in a bachelor, but he marries in the White House. Guess who he gets married to?
The girl.
Yes.
His friend's daughter.
Yes. Frances Folsom, who is
how much younger?
28 years younger.
Go off.
Yeah.
Go off, King.
He's 49. She's 21.
For my 50th birthday, I am going to marry a 22-year-old. I'll spent 9 years being a dad and a happily married man, and then I am getting divorced and marrying a 22-year-old.
I want this one gift.
Rosebud, I made a promise to Wilfred on our podcast.
Yeah.
And then I'll just be like it'll be like so sad because I'll just be old and I'll be trying to keep up with this 22-year-old.
Yeah. You're probably going to have a heart attack from all the dick pills that you're going to take.
Yeah. And also like
maybe a stroke.
When we go out with her and her friends, I'll have to like sit in a booth and be like, just have fun. You know, just have fun with everybody.
Or you're like, you're 50 and you're trying to dress like you're 20.
Yeah. It's like that sad.
That's
like,
the saddest shit.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I see that a lot in Bushwick.
Also, J. Crew probably.
Oh yeah.
Every guys being like, I want to look like the guys my girlfriend wants to fuck.
So Frances was the youngest first lady ever.
How old she was?
21.
Yes, dude. This is a wild ass White House.
Yeah.
21 years old as the first lady.
So she was supposed to be walked down the aisle by her grandfather. That was the plan, but her grandfather died.
I was thinking that he was like another buddy of Grover Cleveland's.
Yeah,
but Grover Cleveland had him killed in Buffalo. Yeah. I don't know.
So Grover Cleveland walks her down the aisle.
What?
And gives her away to him. So.
He just swaps.
Yeah, he ran real quick around her.
That's awesome. I fucking love that.
So they had 5 kids together. One of their kids, her name was Ruth Cleveland, and she dies of diphtheria. Something something that I don't even know.
I think diphtheria is a virus that you get from some kind of mosquito bite. Can we look up a diphtheria? I think that was a killer back in the day. I think that did some pretty good numbers.
Serious infection caused by strains of bacteria called, that's a big word, Corynebacterium diphtheria. That make toxin. Can you still die of diphtheria, or is it?
I think we all get vaccinated. I think it's one of those things we get vaccinated from when we're
so
little.
You die of having been vaccinated. I see.
I died from the vaccine.
Yeah. And so she dies, but I don't know, she was like really cute or some shit. And later on, 30 years later, after her death, they named the candy Baby Ruth after her.
Weird.
Yeah.
They named Baby Ruth after a dead baby?
Yeah. Interestingly enough.
30 years, too.
30 years later.
Why is she still in the picture?
I don't know. So 30 years later, also, Grover Cleveland was dead by this time. And also, their Babe Ruth was a fucking all-star. So everyone thought that the candy was named after him. Because I think he had hit like 54 home runs or some shit like that the year before. And the candy guy was like, I don't even know who that guy is.
This is so weird. Just to be like, Babe Ruth? No, this dead baby from... You guys remember how cute the president's daughter was 6 terms ago?
The dead baby. Duh.
That when I eat peanuts and caramel... I think about this baby that died of diphtheria. That's awesome.
Yeah. So he has his term from 1885 to 1889. wins the popular vote for his next election, but loses the electoral college to Benjamin Harrison. Also, Benjamin Harrison, he's the guy. He incorporated. He raised tariffs. What the fuck are tariffs, by the way?
Taxes on goods.
Okay, so
export taxes.
So basically. He raised tariffs because, and that was like why he won, because I don't know, people wanted to be taxed. I have no.
So tariffs would be more like we would charge another country for importing their stuff.
So he raised tariffs, but that ended up being bad for our country.
Yeah.
I have another fucking bubble.
Do you want me to punch you in the face?
Just punch it back down and it'll come out my butt. He raised tariffs. Also, he incorporated North Dakota, South Dakota, Montana, Washington, Wyoming, and Idaho.
Oregon wasn't in there?
I don't think we cared for Oregon at the time.
That's so wild that even, what was it, 1870s? 1880s by now?
1890s.
1890, we still didn't have all this shit together.
1890 was when Washington came into play, I think. We also didn't have Hawaii, obviously.
I think Hawaii wasn't even until...
Like, it's as old as I am.
And I literally think Hawaii is like around the...
Is it after World War II?
I think it's before, but it's not much. 1959?
Oh, wow. That's as old as you are.
Dude, my mom was like in middle school.
No, your mom's that old?
Yeah, my mom was born in 47.
Oh, my dad was 4.
My dad was a freshman in college.
Jesus Christ, your dad's that old?
Out there, no, freshman in high school, sorry. He was out there slapping guys in the face for throwing their cigarettes in front of a lady.
Pantsing kids.
Yeah.
So Harrison spent a bunch of money and that did the tariffs thing. Cleveland was also against... God, my notes fucking... Here's what I wrote for my notes. Harrison spent a bunch of money, and there was something about tariffs that split Cleveland and Harrison. That's literally what I wrote. And then Cleveland was against or something.
I get it.
And whatever Harrison's presidency did, it showed that Cleveland was right.
That's about as much as you're going to learn on this. In the entirety of this podcast. That is a good summation of what our teaching style is.
So it did show like his raising of the tariffs. People were like, this is turning into a mess. So the next presidency, he's like, everyone's like, please run again.
Yeah.
Because he was right about the whole taxation thing. And so he wins again. He won the popular vote 3 times, all 3 times that he ran.
Were there term limits yet? There weren't.
There were 4 years. Oh, no, not he could have gone like a 3rd time, but it didn't seem like he wanted to be president at all.
Really?
He wasn't that thrilled about it. He like had a hugely fast rise to fame.
Uh-huh.
Like I think he went from like mayor to governor to president super fast.
Yeah.
Like this is like historic. He was just like, I don't really want to do this. It seemed like he was like tried to keep to himself and
he just wanted to sleep with whores.
Children.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. He just was like, man, none of my friends are having hot kids anymore.
What's the point? Also, side note about Frances Folsom. She was the Jackie O of her time. Apparently she's a piece of ass. I don't see it.
Can we get a Frances Folsom up here?
Of her. And Folsom is F-O-L.
There it is.
Apparently that's the hottest girl in 1890.
I mean, they really... I'll say that's like... Look how much older people used to look when they were...
She's 21. That's 21. That's
Can you go
stupid.
to the one in front of the bookcase? I bet that's 21. That's a little more 21 looking.
Yeah.
She also had like... How many kids?
She had 5. The thing is, okay, let's say Frances Folsom comes up to you after a show and is like, I loved your act. I want to blow you. You're not married, by the way.
Yeah.
Rosebud's, she died in a car crash.
No.
You probably wouldn't say
no,
yes.
I don't think so. I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan.
Yeah. But that's the hottest person in 1890.
Like people were losing it. They like, they were like,
they were
whoa,
like,
whoa, whoa. I say.
So there was, I forget what it was. There was something that like she stopped wearing this thing, and then that industry just disappeared.
Like a mink or something?
I think it was like some sort of like a corset type thing.
Oh.
And then that just, everyone was like, oh, she's not doing it. And it just disappeared.
That's kind of like what we were talking about with Amelia Earhart.
Yeah. They used to make inverse. They used to make like ashtrays with her face on it, like anything with her face on it, or with they would name something
this face.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
And they'd be like, "Oh, this is the Francis Folsom water bottle," or something like that, and it would all sell out.
That's great.
She was like, very loved. Cleveland didn't want to be in the public eye, so there were times where like, they'd never stay. They had a second residency. They never stayed at the White House because this was before Secret Service. And so people were mobbing the White House all the time. Like they would be in the backyard and Francis is playing with Ruth.
You used to just be able to walk up to the president's wife.
People would just walk up and be like, I love your baby. Can you sign my water bottle or something like that?
So weird. They used to be like, your husband's a son of a bitch.
Yeah.
I ought to whoop you. You know?
So he gets a second residency, so that way they don't have to stay there.
Where's the second residency?
I don't know, close by.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I mean, there's also like
he should have pulled a Huey.
Oh, like what?
Just tell all the local yokels to burn it down.
Yeah,
just like, hey, tear this fucker down. We need one with a fence.
But I think it wasn't like Trump stayed in Mar-a-Lago the whole time.
Yeah,
it wasn't to that extent. I think he was still in D.C.
He's just across the street.
Yeah. The second presidency comes along, and Harrison fucked up the economy. So Grover Cleveland inherits the economic issue, which it ends up being called the Panic of 1893.
Okay. This is the predecessor to the Great Depression. You were telling me
the predator of the Great Depression.
Yeah, this is like Aliens versus Predator when it was in the old timey one.
Yeah.
Okay.
This would have been the Great Depression.
Yeah.
It was like, this was awful, the worst economic issue. And I don't really, it all had something to do with gold and silver. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
I think it's because they used to leverage the value of the currency based against a hard asset like gold or silver.
Yeah.
And then when you standardize prices, if things aren't actually as valuable as you say, and they get basically questioned. So like the economy was staked, a lot of our economy was leveraged against the housing market, right? Mm-hmm. In 2008. And then when people were actually like dug into...
When you say leveraged against, what does that mean?
People invested American dollars into the housing market, which made the housing market look strong.
Got it.
But then when you actually look at the housing market and you see how much of it is actually like failed mortgages, failed cheaply built homes, people who can't pay their mortgages, the money that's been invested is worth less. And so then the economy is worth less.
Oh, okay. That's probably the most succinct explanation of the housing market crash that I've ever received.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm still pretty stoked about Cleveland walking his own wife down the aisle. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty hilarious.
I like that he ran around her.
This is the last cool story of Cleveland. The fact that he's got 3 cool scandalous stories is pretty cool.
Pretty awesome.
Last cool story. He second term. Mm-hmm. He goes to the dentist, and the dentist is like, "There's a big lump in your mouth," and he's like, "All right, well, who cares?" And he's like, "No, I think you should get that removed. It's bad. Like if that was me, I would get that removed." So this is amidst the Panic of 1893.
Yeah,
economies in turmoil. The whole America is in an awful place,
and it's only like 100-year-old country.
Yeah. Also, I forget who his vice president is. I actually probably never learned.
Did he have the same vice president for both terms?
I don't know.
Okay.
But his vice president for the second term, they did not agree on the approach to the economy.
Okay.
So he wanted it to go one way. His vice president wanted it to go the other way. So idea of presidency needed to be intact throughout the whole time. So he has this huge tumor, right? He has to get it removed. But he can't. This is the 1890s, so the idea of anesthesia is brand new.
Anesthesia is a pretty name.
Yeah. Maybe that's what I want to name my Russian daughter.
I'm going to name my daughter Anesthesia.
Yeah.
So, just thought about that.
Yeah, I'll name my son Laughing Gas.
So stupid.
Yeah, no. Let's cut that one out.
No, I want it. We laughed.
Surgeries like this, there's a 14% chance of death.
God damn.
So he's got to get this procedure done. But there can't be any news of this. So he has a secret operation. And which means you can't go to a hospital. He's the president, you know?
Yeah.
So he gathers this team in Manhattan. There's a team of there's doctors, nurses, a dentist, I think someone else is there, whatever. And they all have to travel separately to this harbor. Mm-hmm. And he at the harbor there's a yacht, and there's just a bed strapped down and on the yacht, and he has the surgery on the yacht as they're going down the Hudson.
Wild.
Yeah.
I mean, also, that's kind of over. Just go to a hospital with a hoodie on. I don't know. What are you talking about? Everybody at this point in history looks like, a fucking bowling ball with a bear coat on.
Yeah.
And they it's not like somebody's going to be like, I saw the president walking near a hospital. Something must be awry. It's like, just go to, I don't know, have your friend put on a hat and leave in a car.
Yeah, put on a hat and sunglasses, just like Britney Spears does when she leaves.
Yeah.
With a crop top.
Why did you have to get a yacht and go on a river? It's not like you were, I don't know. This isn't nuclear fission.
Turns out operation goes great.
Was it cancer?
It was cancerous. It was malignant.
Oh, okay.
So
that's the bad kind. You mean benign?
No, it was malignant.
Malignant means it's going to kill you.
Sure. Yeah, it was that kind then.
Okay.
But it was I also heard that it was some kind of tumor that doesn't metastasize.
Oh, okay.
But it grew, it was in his mouth, they had to take out a piece of his jaw.
Yeah.
Had to go into the soft tissue
around
under his eye. So they took all that out.
That's a big fucking tumor.
Yeah. He was this guy was just eating red meat and chewing cigars his entire life.
Eating horse snatch too.
Yeah. I don't think he was eating pussy.
No, none of these guys.
That's not
pussy.
A guy that fucking tries.
No.
Yeah. He just went and laid down.
Literally at this time in history, if you were like, do women have orgasms? He'd be like, women having orgasms? I've never heard of such a thing.
Well, back then that was medicine.
You had to call a witch doctor.
Yeah, she had an orgasm. No, she didn't have an orgasm. I'm not a doctor.
We weren't in a hospital.
So he has the thing removed. He also does this in the summer while he luckily Congress is taking a break. And so he has surgery, goes back to his place in Cape Cod, hides out. And everyone's like, what's going on? We haven't seen the president. It's he has the surgery on July 1st. Mm-hmm. And I guess he's supposed to, wave at an audience on July 4th at some point. And they never see him. So what's going on? Word gets out that he got the surgery because the dentist missed an appointment because he was stuck on the boat with Grover Cleveland. So he was supposed to be in, I think, New Haven, and supposed to go up there and do some dentist bullshit for someone else. Missed that appointment. And so his excuse is, you won't believe what I just did. I was actually doing the shit to Grover Cleveland's face.
It's crazy that they could go through all that hush, secrecy shit and it still gets out.
It's still going to get... Yeah, there's only like 6 people that know.
But also, all it takes for it to be news is somebody writing it on a piece of paper and giving it to somebody else. Look what happened.
And that is what happened. So he says that to, like, I don't know, whoever's in the dentist office. Someone hears it, and then they tell it to like,
the newspaper.
But by the time it gets from him to the guy who reports the news, by the time it gets to the news...
Francis is 28.
He was already okay. Like within 2 weeks, he was like fine.
God. What a king.
Yeah. They had to make a prosthetic jaw for him. I was actually looking this up. I was trying to find a picture of what he looked like without it, but I couldn't find one. They made a prosthetic jaw for him that was made of like vulcanized rubber. And
which is what the condoms.
Yeah.
That's weird. The only other time we've seen vulcanized rubber recently was the Goodyear guy making the condom.
Yeah, so they made a jaw of condoms.
He had a condom jaw.
Put him in his mouth, and it somehow, I don't understand the science of this. Somehow made it so that he didn't look like he was missing a huge part of his jaw.
Well, because it was probably hollow, so it probably sunk in if he didn't have that in there.
And then another thing was that it made it so that his speech was normal again. That I don't get.
What?
So those are the wild stories of Grover Cleveland. I'm sure that there's things that I might know that I forgot, but that's all the bullshit about that guy. I
like him because he's not too. It's not like it's not too sensational. It's just like some good. Like Huey Long was like kind of doing some like major dirt. Grover Cleveland's just kind of a good old boy.
Yeah. Oh, here's some more stuff. So a lot of people. Current Dems don't like him because he didn't want to interfere with states' rights. And so big issue of the time was the 15th Amendment, letting black people vote. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the states in the South were like restricting the black vote.
Of course.
People didn't like him because he didn't get in the way of that. There was no federal interference. People, there's a lot of word about him being racist and whatnot because of that. I don't know how to feel about that. He was very good friends with Frederick Douglass. Like Frederick Douglass would come over to the White House all the time and hang out.
Wow.
And people hated that. A black guy in the White House, bad news. So Frederick Douglass had a job in the White House, I think. And then after Frederick Douglass like left the job, Cleveland gave it to another black dude. So he just wanted to make sure that there was someone around.
So he's kind of a good guy, but he also is not
not the greatest.
Not going to go to bat.
He also really didn't like the Chinese, which is another. He signed the Chinese Exclusion Act.
Oh, because this is like the period of time where there's a lot of Chinese immigration. Yeah, and it's kind of fucking with the people don't want a bunch of Chinese people on the West Coast.
Yeah, yeah, and he said they like assimilated poorly, which like I understand. They still do. Like
there's not a lot of other towns,
yeah.
Like there's not like Czech town and German town. There are, but not to the extent.
Yeah, but those are like kitschy. There's not like real Germans that don't speak English.
There's none of that.
Yeah.
There's not a single part. Like, I mean, I guess if you go to Greenpoint, there's people that don't speak English. They only speak Polish.
Oh yeah.
But it's very rare now.
Yeah. But yeah, so he signed the Chinese Exclusion Act. He also signed the Scott Act, which was it made it so that if you
were named Scott,
you were Chinese.
You were automatically Chinese. What's your name?
Scott.
You're Chinese.
No.
Get out of here. You're excluded.
If you were Chinese, nationally Chinese, but a resident of the U.S. and you ever left the U.S., you couldn't come back.
What?
Yeah.
Man, so this guy never went to fucking WoHop.
No, yeah.
He'd have such a different story with his fat face.
Yeah, I mean he obviously got a lot of delivery. He had to meet some Chinese people in that process.
It's fucked up.
Yeah. So now that's Grover Cleveland.
Okay. Well, I like him.
I do too. Well, I mean, the inverse. I was just listening to a podcast on my way over here where they just like completely like everything was like sensational and we hate this guy. And I just like the idea that there was a president, even if it's not true, that there was a president that was honest about his flaws and the people still believed in him. That's what I want to believe is possible, because I don't trust, I mean, obviously not the biggest Trump fan, but I don't trust Biden. I don't trust the people.
I don't trust the Democrats. I don't know about Biden. I don't think Biden is that swarmy. He is a career politician, but it would be nice to get like that's why I like Bernie, because I felt like Bernie, I really did think Bernie was telling the truth.
Yeah. And I'm hoping that, like, I don't know what to think of RFK, but I don't know. First of all, I hope he debates Biden and fucking...
Yeah, you're really going pro RFK this week.
I just don't want Biden to run against Trump or DeSantis.
Well, it's going to be Trump. It's going to be Trump-Biden. That's going to be the election.
That sounds so fucking stupid.
Trump might win.
Yeah.
Because Biden is not...
Trump's going to be the second Grover Cleveland.
Maybe they'll figure out a way to arrest him.
But that's why I think RFK should be the guy.
Yeah.
Because you're putting a corpse.
Would RFK go and be like, "Hey, Trump, you're a dick"? Would he say it? I'm
sure he would. I mean, he's a podcaster.
True. Yeah. He must have some cold riffs on Trump.
Yeah, exactly.
I have to go because I'm so tired that I'm becoming. Anything you want to plug? Your show in New Haven?
Yeah, I'm going to be in New Haven June 22nd. Find me on Instagram. How about that? And I'll get you the details because I don't remember exactly where it is.
At Wilfred, Padua. I will be heading to the Northwest in early July, playing Victoria, Vancouver, Portland, and Seattle.
You doing heckles?
Hecklers, yeah.
Hecklers?
Yeah.
Fuck, I want to do that run.
All right.
I'm going to try to get that set up for myself.
All right.
Okay. All right. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Wait, tell people they can email us.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you can email us. Thank you. Keep this in.
Yeah. Okay. So the Known Zone Podcast at gmail.com. We're the Known Zone Pod on Instagram. We're something along the lines of that on YouTube.
Please follow us, like us, subscribe, review.
I also keep forgetting to do this. The music for our podcast was done by my buddy Roger Habone.
Okay.
Who's a very great producer.
What's his at?
104Rog, 104 ROG.
Great.
One day I will shout him out earlier in the episode, so that way it'll be at a point where people are still listening.
I don't know. Maybe somebody listens to this.
No one's listening to the end.
You guys listen to this part.
If you listen to the end, send us a message and we will respond to you.
We'll give you $20.
Yeah, send us a message with the word mustache in it.
And you'll get $20.
From Andy.
And Autumn, don't try to create some secret account where you're like, oh, I listened all the way to the end, because we'll figure it out, okay?
I did listen. I want the credit.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, you have permission.
Can we say bye now?
Yeah.
All right.